Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Bold Take Scouting Podcast. Today, I'm joined by a special guest, 2023 NFL Draft prospect and former North Dakota State tight end Noah Gindorff. How you doing today, Noah?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for coming on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, we like to start off with this question to really get guys back to their roots. When did you start playing football? What made you fall in love with the game?
I was around the game as long as I can remember.
Mhm.
My dad was the high school football coach, and so I
Yeah.
was the ball boy running around on the sidelines during high school games. Started organized football in third grade. Started playing tackle in fifth grade, and just never really got away from the game ever. So I've been around it my entire life.
Yeah, that's awesome. You mentioned your dad was the high school coach. He had a decorated career at Concordia and went on to sign a couple free agent deals in the NFL. So, how helpful was it to be able to have him throughout your football journey and then as your coach in high school?
Yeah, he was super helpful. Always, just kind of nudging me along. Even helping like high school recruiting. Just getting me into the weight room and all that stuff. Like, because he's kind of been there, done that. He knows what he's doing and knows what he's talking about. So, yeah, he's been really awesome. Just a great guy to have in my corner.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense. So in high school, you played a lot of positions. You were quarterback, tight end occasionally. On the defensive side, you played D line, linebacker, safety, and you even it's said in your North Dakota State bio, you even played kicker sometimes and holder. So do you think that playing all those positions on all three sides of the field really helped you become as good of a tight end as you could be today?
Yeah, I think just being from a small high school, it was kind of like that. Everyone was going to be playing pretty much both sides of the ball, and our coaches were going to put us in a position to be successful, and I was going to do whatever it took, and just being able to see different sides of the ball and how things are working, and how the defense works, how the offense works. I think it all kind of just increases your football knowledge, and then when you get to higher level of football, just having a solid base of football knowledge helps you really absorb that playbook a lot faster, and I think you can be molded a lot easier, learn the techniques a lot faster. Just having a high level of football IQ, I think, just makes the transition from high school to college a lot easier, because there'll be some guys that come in and um, you know they only play football for a year or two, and it's a pretty steep learning curve. So I think just being around that much football and seeing all the different sides of it just kind of made the transition in college a lot smoother.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. You especially see a kind of a quarterback to tight end pipeline, which I would assume really helps you if you used to be a quarterback to play the tight end position. Because if you're on the same page with your quarterback and you can think like a quarterback, you're going to be able to get along with him on the football field and be as productive as you can be.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, just understanding how, you know, man defense works, how zone defense works, where soft spots are, and, just being able to recognize the coverage and say, on this route concept, the ball should be coming to me. And just kind of understanding overall, like, how defenses work and where the quarterback should be looking, and just helps you be, where you need to be on time in the pass game. So it certainly does help. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. And so you not only did you play a lot of positions for your football team, you actually starred in two other sports, in basketball and baseball. So would you say that playing those other sports also helped you on the football field?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually also ran track my senior
Okay.
year, so I
Nice.
did four sports. But
Wow.
um, yeah, just being overall a good athlete, I think again helps that transition into college and makes that a lot easier. In basketball, you learn how to jump. I think that's the biggest thing, learning how to jump and just be explosive, and it obviously helps with your conditioning. In baseball and track, obviously you're going to learn how to run and run fast, and um, just overall, just getting the opportunity and being from a small school, having the opportunity to play a bunch of different sports, I think just helps make you a better overall athlete, and that's something that I really did enjoy in high school, is just having the opportunity to kind of do whatever I wanted and not having to specialize in just one sport.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense because you see a lot of tight ends who are really good basketball players, and a lot of D1 football coaches want their recruits to be running track to get faster. So definitely makes a lot of sense. And so if we go back to your recruiting process, you picked North Dakota State over a few other schools like Wyoming, South Dakota State, and even Minnesota when they jumped in with Coach PJ Fleck and offered you. So why did you pick North Dakota State and maintain that commitment throughout your process?
So after, like junior day, like spring visits or whatever, I'd kind of narrowed down, like at least in this area, I kind of figured that it was either going to be North Dakota State or Minnesota that I wanted to go to. And Minnesota was always kind of my dream school
Yeah.
growing up. And, went through camps before my senior year, ended up getting the NDSU offer and not getting Minnesota. And so then I had to decide at that point because I planned on having my recruitment done before my senior year of high school because I just wanted to kind of get it out of the way and just focus on football.
Yeah.
And so I just decided at that point that I was going to commit to NDSU, and ended up being committed there for 6 months. And it wasn't like I had just committed and then they kind of put me on the back burner. Like the coaches continued to really get to know me. They continued to recruit me even after I was committed. And I mean, that would have been in 2016. They lost in the national semifinal. And I think like the next weekend, Coach Kleiman, the head coach at the time, was at my basketball game.
Wow.
So, I mean, it just shows like the level of dedication and, and time that they put into you, and at that point it had really felt like home. And, I was already so close with Coach Roll and our recruiting class. Obviously we had a big group chat going and it felt like, these guys were my teammates already. And then when Minnesota comes in about a week before signing day, hired PJ Fleck and bringing the new coach, and he comes in and offers me, it's one of the first things that he does when he gets there. That was obviously really tough. That was my dream school growing up, but at that point it was kind of I had been committed for 6 months already, and I was so interwoven into the NDSU program already that it felt like home, and I felt like I couldn't go back on my word. And looking back on that now, I'm so happy with my decision. I really think NDSU was the best place for me to be, and that's where I was meant to be. And it's that program is giving me the opportunity to hopefully play at the next level. So I really think at the end of the day, it was a great decision for me.
Yeah, that's really well said. And so when you got to North Dakota State, it kind of seemed like there was an adjustment period where you redshirted your first year. Your second year, you were playing mostly on special teams. And then you managed to really progress into one of the Bison's best players in the last few years. So was it difficult waiting for your time? And how did you manage to progress so much into being such a good player in the last couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, there certainly was a learning curve, and especially for me, learning a whole new position. I think that was pretty tough. And you're going from a small high school where you're like the guy, you're playing a ton in whatever sport you want, and then you have to come here and basically you're back to the bottom of the totem pole and have to earn your spot. And I went through 2 full seasons. It was just like I just couldn't quite get the hang of it. And then finally, in my second spring ball, everything really started to slow down and kind of click into place. And I had a really, really good spring ball. And then going into my third year in 2019, I was able to kind of carry that over and then have a really good season that fall as well. So there definitely was a pretty steep learning curve, and it was frustrating at first not being on the field, definitely, but. Eventually I just kind of kept my head down and kept working, and eventually, it ended up working out. So, yeah.
Yeah, and so you also had a tremendous success at the team level. Obviously, I mean, North Dakota State is really the cream of the crop at the FCS level. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you won 4 national championships over your time at North Dakota State. I mean, that's really incredible. And so I'm just wondering, what are for you like the main couple things that North Dakota State does so well to keep you guys at the very top of the FCS year in and year out?
I think it really starts in the off season, just with how hard we work out and how hard we condition in the off season, and it's the standard around our program that was set a long time ago, um, way before players like I came along. Um, but it's just like the way that we carry ourselves and the way that we do our things. It just really has laid the foundation for all of our success. And coaches can come and go, and players can come and go, but I think just the groundwork that's been laid in the formula that we kind of have for our success is something that's been going on for a long time, and it's going to continue for a long time. And um, you know we have a way of doing things, and it's certainly not for everyone. We work hard, and it's definitely not for everyone, but uh, it's the reason why we are so successful. It's a full year, it's a full dedicated time process. So um, it's yeah, I mean we certainly work for it. It's not just recruiting better players or anything like that. There's a lot that goes on behind closed doors that I think leads to our success.
Yeah, the thing that definitely is seen with how many players like you come to North Dakota State, having played a different position in high school, and then by the time they leave North Dakota State, they're NFL draft prospects at a new position, or what was new originally in college.
Yeah.
And so I think we can dive into your tape a little bit, because obviously we're talking about you as a potential NFL draft prospect. So
Mhm.
as you know, a 6'6" athletic guy who blocks really well too. For you, what is your biggest strength that you bring to an NFL team on the football field?
I'd like to be considered an all-around tight end, but
Mhm.
I certainly know that as of right now, probably my strength is viewed as my run blocking.
Mhm.
Just almost thinking of myself as an extra offensive lineman in there, but also still having that ability to be in a play action pass or the drop back pass game, and be effective with the ball in my hands. I think is something that I want to prove that I have in my game. It's just as of right now, I think the thing that's really got me on the radar is my blocking so far.
Yeah, and you can tell you take a lot of pride in it, because you see you on the football field, ragdolling guys, like blocking through the whistle. It's really impressive. Sometimes you don't see tight ends willing to get that dirty.
Yeah, I think that's maybe the true on the ball road grading run blocking tight end is a bit of a dying breed, but
Yeah.
I think at NDSU we certainly take a lot of pride in our technique and fundamentals in the run blocking game. So yeah, it's something we really do take a lot of pride in.
Mhm. And so any good player knows they've got things that they can keep improving on. So as you head into the NFL draft process, are there a couple particular things about your game that you're trying to improve?
For me right now, the biggest thing is just getting healthy.
Mhm.
Obviously coming off a big surgery in
Yeah.
September, just moving forward, just proving that surgery was successful, and I'm feeling good. I think is going to be the biggest thing for me moving forward. If I can go out on the combine or pro day and put together a good 40 time and good agility stuff, I think at my size, if I can go out and run good times, I think that will really help me out. So it's these things that I know I'm capable of. It's just being able to go out and show it and prove it to everyone.
Yeah, so you mentioned that injury that ended up keeping you out of most of your super senior year, but now you did get that combine invite, which also was in the first wave of invites, which is really notable in terms of showing how highly the NFL thinks of you. So, how do you really see the combine week unfolding?
Yeah. By that point, I really won't be medically cleared to fully participate in
Mhm.
that. But again, like the big thing for me is going to be that medical testing, because
Yeah.
this is my second ankle surgery in the last 12 months. So just going out there and showing that we fixed what needed to be fixed, and uh, I'm feeling good and getting better, and um, obviously I'll be able to do interviews and stuff there, and then I'll be able to do bench press. That will be the one thing I'll be able to
Mhm.
participate in. But yeah, I think the medical testing for me, I think, is going to be the really big part.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So, outside of the combine, how are you going to be preparing for the draft? Like, what are the next few months going to be looking like for you on a daily basis?
I think it's just really just keeping my head down and working.
Mhm.
Um, just getting better in any way that I possibly can. You know, just hopefully doing well in interviews and medical testing and all that stuff, and um, just continue to work on my ankle, do lots of physical therapy, and be in the weight room, do whatever I can to just continue to make myself into a better football player.
Yeah. All right, let's get into the last couple questions. Are a little more off topic and fun questions that we like to end off with. Do you have an NFL role model or a couple guys in the NFL that you've been looking to emulate your game after?
I mean, one guy that I really do admire in the NFL is George Kittle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he is still that traditional on the ball. Really takes a lot of pride in his run blocking and uses really good technique, and also demonstrates that he is obviously very dynamic downfield in the passing game. So when I think about like a complete package as a tight end, that's kind of the guy that I really think about is George Kittle.
And he was a guy who really was primarily run blocking in college, didn't get that many looks as a receiver. And when he got to the NFL, he got to show that he has a lot more expansive of a skill set than what he was showing in college. So that might be a little bit of a similarity to you with maybe potentially getting more looks down the line in the NFL.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's I mean, and NFL scouts are really good at that stuff, recognizing
Mm-hmm.
obviously the scheme that you play in, and maybe you not might not be getting as much opportunities, but as long as it's there, you're getting open, you're showing good acceleration, you're getting out of your breaks, you're doing well in the run blocking game, that stuff doesn't go unnoticed. So
Yeah.
I think it's just because the production may not be at a super high level in college, um, they know what it takes to succeed at the next level. So yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. So now we like to leave off on this question because it's pretty inspirational of a ending note. Along your football journey, what has been the best piece of advice you've received from someone, be it a coach, a parent, a teammate, something that's really stuck with you?
I think in our training room at NDSU, there's a big thing painted up on the wall, and it just says, "Tough times don't last, but tough people do."
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm in there every day for the past year, pretty much after two ankle surgeries, and I see that, and I think that's just a really good reminder for me, especially I kind of need that some days. Um, I mean, just season-ending injuries are so brutal,
Oh yeah.
and can take so much wind out of your sails, and it's really tough to keep going some days. But going in there and seeing that, just kind of remind yourself like it's not going to be like this forever. Like you will get better. Um, just you know, just be a tough person. That's it at the end of the day. And things will kind of take care of themselves. So that's something that I really enjoyed seeing every day.
I think that's a great way to show how you've been able to persevere through that injury and really good advice for anyone in any walk of life. So thank you for joining me today, Noah. It's really been a pleasure, and I can't wait to watch you kill this draft process and enter the NFL.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate your time. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course. All right, have a good one, everyone. Thank you for listening, and we'll be back with another episode shortly.